Hey, what's up, y'all? This is week 8. Man, man, I don't know what else to say other than you did it. Congratulations on hanging in there for 8 weeks. And listen, the real of this is that it may have taken you more than 8 weeks because life is lifing. Maybe it took you 10 weeks to get these 8 lessons done. Maybe you just got really just ingrained and really focused and locked in, and you did it in 8 weeks. Maybe life checked in and caused you to feel challenged about what's going on. And as a result, it took you a little longer, but that's okay. You did it. You got through. And so I just want to congratulate you because your life will never, ever be the same. So I want to recap real quick before we get into week 8's lesson and we actually do the thing so that we actually can make sure that after week 8, we can continue with the positive momentum that we've developed over these past 7 weeks moving into week 8. So we started off this thing really talking about understanding what our little man on the inside is, and we challenged you to make sure that you spent time with your little man, you honored and respected him, and you grew him up. That required you to do some things each and every week. We were challenged with making sure that we focused and we locked in to not just figuring out who our little man was. We actually released him. We freed him. We forgave him. We went back. We had discussions and conversations with him so that he actually could understand that a lot of the things that he struggled with were not his fault. And as we continue to progress and move along, we started to see that our little man, as fragile as he was, as complex as he was, he really just needed some things. So we as a team work together. You and I have worked together to identify that although those things that he deserved, that he was never going to get in the first place, he now has the ability to do it himself and grow himself up. We talked about our framework. We talked about the FICO score. What is your spiritual FICO score, right? What are the things that make you who you are as a believer, as a man of God, as a king and priest in your household and in your community, right? So your spiritual FICO score, your faith, your integrity, your consistency, and your ownership. These are all things that are important. And just like your natural credit score, if you neglect them, if you default on them, you're going to have to work to build them back up. And at the end of the day, this is a journey, not a destination, which means you do have the ability to get that done and you can recover from anything, right? Romans 8:1 says that there is now therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. Then we talked about our Alive framework, which is really acknowledging, listening, identifying, validating, and empowering, right? And we can look at this framework and we can apply it to every situation in our life. We can apply it to our conversations with our spouses, our children, our mom and dad, our brothers and sisters, the boss on the job, the colleague, whoever it is. And as we are working on keeping our little man in the place that he needs to be and identifying him and honoring and respecting him, this framework goes a long way to help you with your emotional intelligence, right? That's not just understanding what's going on with you emotionally. That's also understanding what's going on with those who are around you, right? Who you're having an interpersonal dialogue and relationship with. Then we moved on to what is very important. In other words, how do we get from our understanding to actually applying now what we've learned, right? Our faith in action. Rediscovering that purpose that we put on the shelf because we were just surviving, because we were suppressing those emotions, right? We have a feelings wheel. That feelings wheel is designed to help us identify what we're feeling. And you can have more than one emotion at the same time. You can be feeling angry. You can be feeling upset. You can be feeling frustrated. You can be feeling afraid and alone and excited all at the same time for various reasons. And the secret to this thing is being able to own up and identify what's going on internally with you and then getting to what is the root of that. right? That's where we're spending time with our little man, right? We're identifying what the trigger was, where the trigger came from, so that we can honor and respect that emotion, understanding that our emotions are nothing but blind spot indicators. It's like the warning engine light on your vehicle. It's telling you that there's something going on in this area of our lives. This is a space and a place that we still need to give to God, right? And so as we rediscover ourselves and we identify our purpose and we make decisions about how we're going to walk in it, we talked about what to do. We talked about redefining what success is for us, right? And understanding that our success and our faith is built on Jesus' blood and righteousness, right? It's built for Mark 11 and 23-24, which talks about the desires of our hearts being added unto us, right? In other words, God places that desire on the inside of us, and he helps us understand what he wants for us, and we want the same thing because we understand his love for us. We understand that above all things, he wishes that we should prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. 3 John and 2. So these are all of the things that we have been working on and building up to. And I got to tell you, you have now acquired some great tools and some great skills that you can utilize in your interpersonal conversations, in your goals as you're focusing on keeping your little man under control, right? We talked about the 5-second rule, understanding that we need to make sure that before we speak as men, that what we say has been thought out, because once it's said, man, it's out and it has a destination and it will not return void. So once it's out there, we are responsible for the atmosphere that it creates, right? And so then we are moving from all of the things that we've learned over these past 7 weeks, and we are getting into week 8, which is the culmination of all those things. It's putting our faith in motion. It's understanding that we do have these tools now that we can utilize. We have to be patient with ourselves, though. Don't expect that you're going to get all of this stuff immediately right each and every time, right? Because again, this is a journey, not a destination, and the growth happens in the process, right? So as we look at week 8, I'm challenging you to rise and lead. And that's what our course is about this week. It's about understanding that this is a time for celebration because you have grown over these past 8 weeks. You have had some positive things that have happened. You've had some challenging things that have happened to you, but ultimately you are in a better place now. So Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who has strengthened me, who gives me strength, who gives me the ability to not just spend time with my little man, honor and respect him and grow him up, but also gives me the ability to understand my purpose is not out of sight. It's not beyond my capacity. It's not beyond my reach. I can actually do what Christ has designed me to do, which means that I need to take a hold of it, own it, and run with it. He said, you did run well, right? And I want him to say that, my good and faithful servant, well done, right? So I want you to take inventory. What growth have you experienced in your emotional, spiritual, and family life? What are the things that you see that have changed right now? And how are you continuing to change? It is important for you to actually write down tangible examples of how you have changed, celebrate those things, and continue to build from those things. Ask those who you are in conversation with, who you are in relationship with, these specific questions. What have you seen that's different about me? How have I changed in our dialogue and in our conversations? What are some of the things that you believe are different and are changing in the way that I am responding to you when you talk to me about things, right? Do you believe that I am sensitive and that I hear you and that I'm listening and that I'm giving you what you need in return when you actually speak to me, right? These are all things that we need to take inventory because we need to understand how we've grown and what we're doing that actually is benefiting not just us, but those who are in our tribe, right? And then the most important thing, which is how will you sustain this growth moving forward. Well, as we wrap up this week and this program and this course, I want you to think about two key things. Number one, doing the right thing is a principle, not an outcome. And I may have said this before in previous courses, but I want you to really get that now that you have gone through these past 8 weeks, that now you understand differently the importance of you setting the tone and the atmosphere in your household. That means that when you understand the power of your words and that you understand that you have better control than you think, now that you have gone through this 8-week course, you have the ability to get control of your little man at any time. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that is the principle. God is responsible for the outcome. And finally, having a short memory of wrongdoing with your spouse, with your kids, puts you in the right posture with God, right? Forgiveness is a commandment by God. It says, forgive lest you will not be forgiven. And it is our duty and our responsibility to forgive. That is transactional. Healing is something totally different. And as you think about and reflect on your time spent with your little man and all of those hurts and those pains, I want you to understand that God is commanding you to forgive. Healing is the process. And so as we reflect on these past 8 weeks, think about, what have you healed from? What are you now encouraged about? What are you excited about as you embark on this new journey? I can tell you what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the fact that you have gotten through this course, that you've grown, and this is only the beginning for you and for your family. Because you have locked in and decided to do the difficult thing for men of color, for Christian men, for married men, for men who have a vision and a goal, who have suppressed themselves for so long and now are sick and tired of being tired. You have done the unthinkable. What was perceived to be the impossible, you have now accomplished. You have spent time with your little man. You have honored and respected him, and you have grown him up, and you will continue to do so. Ultimately, you are resetting to rise. So I'm encouraged. Congratulations. Make sure that as you take inventory of these past 8 weeks, that you give yourself your own flowers and take your time, be patient, and make sure that you always understand that there's now therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, and that you have the victory. We'll see you soon. Have a blessed day.